matrix decoded. First you can take a look at that, and then I'm going to show you how to mirror source in and out, and why it's mind. And I take care about all minions, inhabitants of the island. Now, the key to care is love, because love is basically here to evolve us, the spine, the snake. So love is here to evolve, but basically what love should do is, in order to lift you up and rise as a phoenix from the ashes, you have to go down, you have to fall, you have to dig in the hole. And this is why I'm talking about the subconscious iceberg. So the question here today is, what do you carry in your subconscious iceberg? What do you carry in your subconscious mind? And like I said, I never know if another consciousness exists besides my own, but I'm pretty sure that what I'm giving you here is the truest, the most truthful truths that I was collecting from the Akashic records where I was going in, which is basically source. And this knowledge is, you will not find that knowledge in any book, because I am probably the first one who's writing it down. But it was already in you, it was already in your mind, but you were not digging the hole. I was doing that for you. So because I love you, I'm sharing that now with you. So the question is, how deep is your love going? How deep is your subconscious mind? How deep is your roots? How deep do you go? Because this is what it's going to be in the end. If you were digging the hole, I'm giving you it right in your face. The whole process here that I was going through for 13 years, and even longer, and I'm still doing it, and I will continue to do that, is to then, once you were finding out how your subconscious mind is working, when you were programming your subconscious mind over and over again, that you're basically not aware of doing it, but you continue to do it because you programmed yourself to it, is to flip the iceberg around. So then your subconscious becomes conscious, and that's your real power. You get it? That's my real power. And my power is, now I'm showing it off, but I'm not a showman, I'm loving you. This is why I'm sharing it. The question is, how deep where you were digging the hole. If you are trying to go up with spirituality, if you are trying to go up into the higher realms, go up into the mist, you only can go as far high up as you were pulling down your routines, your roots. Because this is when you will, in the end, raise the cross. Right? Like that. This is your cross. You have 33 vertebrae in your spine. So this is what, talking about free man, sun and air. This is what we all are. Freemasonry. This is talking about heritage and hair, electromagnetism, coiling up your different hairs, sitting as a king on top of your skull, which is your skull. So this is where your soul, your inner light sits. Because these two eyes are fooling you. These two eyes are creating an illusion for you. And to see through that, you have to go in deep. Then you will find out what it really is. And if you were going then so deep, then you can start to create something with it. See? So, I love you. And this is why I'm evolving like a phoenix, burning myself down, dying, getting reborn, dying, getting reborn. So, all these things which I carry in my subconscious field are the practices that I'm doing over and over again, just to train my mind, because in the end everything is mind. You do certain exercises, right? Something like this, that I'm also training and sharing with the keys, because the kids are our keys to the future, right? All these techniques, if you know how to do them, right? Kalaripaya, yoga, kinetic yoga, move mind, that was basically in the end. To build structure and to do these things over and over again, to then build a foundation in your temple that you start to mirror out, no matter where you go. Because, basically only your position, your posture, and your mind's state changes. So this is why it's important to, build things in your surroundings, right? Make it beautiful. It should be very beautiful where you live. This is your temple. But your temple in the first place is your skull, is your mind, is your body. So all these things that you read, that you do over and over again, the way you inform yourself, the way you speak, the way you are, is what you carry within. And this is what's going to be reflected out. And I would consider myself as whatever, shaman, a ninja, a knight, a day, a lover, a magician. Sometimes I'm a warrior, but I should not worry too much. A meditator, a brain, a chem. I'm chem for sure. A polarian. I'm a soul, I'm a light. I'm arc, darkness. And all these things that I put together, this is why I'm literally the rainbow. See, I'm the rainbow, but I'm also the subconscious rainbow. I'm the iceberg. This is what the Titanic is. The Titanic was crashing into the iceberg. The iceberg was killing the titans. So that's why I'm an iceberg. Because I carry all of these things. You might think, oh, now you become lean or skinny, whatever. But what I carry in here is, I carry the keys. I carry the code. I would always find a solution for your problem because I love you. That's the thing. Because I carry all of these different ways and whys in myself. Because I know in the end it's a hologram. It's a hologram. Is it a hologram? I don't know. Is there another consciousness than my own? I don't know. Am I sleeping in this body somewhere else? And I'm just projecting here everything as a dream? Seems like it, because there are very much things occurring in my life which have a giant effect onto the whole world. Now, what is the world? The world is just the word. That's the world. Because it's the angel of my mind that I produce. because my world is only occurring inside of my school. Now, let's talk about 100%. Or should we talk about 3,030%? Or should we talk about 4,200%? I don't know. But let's talk about 100%. Now, 99.9999999% of people have not even been to the place where I was. See, and I know like what I do is affecting the whole thing. If there are even other subconscious beings or conscious beings, I don't know. But you know, I'm doing every day I'm working with my mind. How to fix this, how to make it better for everyone, how to find a solution which is basically there for everybody. And I only go again to the chaos place, to the chaos palace, to the Oz, to the magicians. Oz. You know what? I'll show you something, the gloves. Now, how would you measure the boxing gloves? You have no clue who I am. I'm like literally ninjaing, jinning the whole mist because I love you. See, how would you measure the density of boxing gloves? In ounces, right? In ounces. That's what you have. So you know what? I fuse warm and cold together because I'm the source. Red and blue. Twins. I was a triplet. My two brothers died. Now, was that actually occurring, or is it just a symbol for the pyramid, which you basically fuse together from your male and female aspect into your heart, which is now then talking about love. See? Now, here we have, it's not even standing there, but generally it's 8 ounces for that, and 14 ounces for that. See, 42 laws of Ma'at. And you know why I'm a free spirit and why I can create with language? Because each and every letter is a symbol unto itself for me. This is why I'm creating all the time when I open up my mouth, when I'm thinking like a Ken, like an Egyptian pharaoh. This is why I have already won, because I'm whole. I'm holy. So why am I sharing that with you? Because I love you. That's the thing. And again, the 42 laws of Ma'at symbolize how to work with your mind. What you should basically, how you should treat other beings. The 33 symbolizes the Christ consciousness, which is talking about enlightenment, which is talking about your mind, which is talking about your sacred secretion. When you start to pump up your semen or your eggs, which are in your root chakra, in your genitals, and you use that to put it into your skull, into your brain. This is why move mind is important. You have to move your body, you have to move your temple. So, ways. You only travel inside of your school, you only travel inside of your mind. You don't move onto this grid here. It seems like you're going through this hologram. And this is basically what now is happening with these mirrors, with these black mirrors, with the technology things. We are creating a matrix inside a matrix. But the key was basically to free up your soul from your vessel, to get into your spiritual realm, and to know that, hey, it's about what you create. It's about how do you treat others, right? How are you with others? And this is why I'm constantly pushing this knowledge, because I know it's anchored within itself. And this is talking about Shivambukalpa, urine therapy, Orion, see Orion's belt, and to become wise. You know what? Why do you go to school? Why do you go to school? Why do you go to university? Why do you do all these things in life? Why do you do that? Why do you think you have to earn money? Why are you doing it? You're doing it because you need a certain amount of security in your life. I understand that. Everybody wants to have good material things. Everybody would like to have good gods around them. But see, this is what was talking about alchemy, was talking about the diets and deities. You are the god, you are the Thor's field, you are the Thor, you are the authority of your life. That's what you are. So everything that you consume inside of your temple will be broken down in your alchemical vessel. This is what you're going to have outside of you reflected, mirrored. This is how the whole workings are. Because as within, so without. As above, so below. So each and every individual who has a light, everybody has a spark in them. Maybe it's not awakened yet, but everybody has a light, everybody has a soul, everybody has a sun. So if you would just nourish your black sun, your black hole, that's on you. I don't know if you would like to do that. But you have a black dot, you have a black sun. It's not talking about any racism or whatever. This is talking about occulted knowledge which it sits inside of everybody. So would you like to become your own creator of your reality? You're already doing it. Maybe you're not aware of it, but you're doing it. So this is when you start to become a wise dome. D-O-M-E, the Om mind, the sinus cosinus curve, which is talking about the in-breath, the out-breath, the so, the ham. And as you go deeper into the infinite waters of yourself, which is talking about urine, which is talking about the waters that you breathe, because you would produce urine even if you would not consume water. If you would live in a desert, I show you something, because I have to work with images, I have to work with speakings. I know what I'm doing here. All right, so this is I'm also talking about imagination and tools and tolerance and toys and childlike mind state, chaos magic, Bobby Hammett's work, chaos being a chaos being. See here, this is basically what you would do if you would live in a desert. See? Now you would just be somebody who sits in a desert for 40 days. And this is a symbol for 40 days water fast. This is a symbol for the snake eating its own tail, the Ouroboros. Now you might think, oh Jan, you have a vivid imagination. Yeah, because I'm a creator. I'm a Thoris field. And I'm seeding this knowledge. I don't care how many views my videos get. Doesn't matter to me. Because I don't even know if you exist. I don't know if anybody's real in here. Because this is a giant show for me. And I'm not here to kill the workings of humanoids. I'm not here to do that. But I'm talking about a conscious mirroring process and consciously mirroring the truth to everybody. Now, if you would start to use your black mirrors to your degree, that's on you. Because if you haven't got that yet, all of what you look at is just a representation of your current consciousness. That's how it works. That's what the black mirror is. It's just a mirror to your own consciousness. So you produce your own movie. You look inside of that. Everything that you perceive and hear is just what you think is occurring. But basically there is nothing. This is a hologram. This is an illusion. This is a Maya. And you would understand what I'm talking about when you would hold maybe orange in your mouth. Because it would nourish your pineal gland. So everybody's talking about spirituality. Yeah, that's great. We were seeding that knowledge. But are you talking about urine? Are you talking about fasting? Are you talking about distilled waters? Are you talking about alchemy? Are you talking about stressing yourself, doing things over and over again, and then start to do them differently, but still being disciplined with it? So, that's what basically the 4 owls from the High Focus Records told me. To become a wise dome, a wise head, a wise mind. Now, Flipchart, who is the CEO of High Focus Records and also one of the 4 owls, is a symbol, at least to me, to flip the subconscious iceberg into the conscious realm. So this is how we will basically switch sides. This is also happening now on Netflix, talking about these magicians, these magic abilities. See, in all of these things, history repeats itself. It's his story. But history is basically not important to your story because you should master yourself. Master your own life. Master your way, your why, your roots, your T, YT. See, my mom is spelled with a Y. My father is spelled with a T. So this equals in YouTube, my cubes. Whatever. See, that's why I have it inside of me. I was trained to be a ninja, to go there and then to dig in the hole and to bring light to the subconscious realm, to bring light to the Akashic records, to bring these hidden lectures into the conscious realm. This is how the whole cookie crumbles. This is how all of the belief systems which are happening are shattered. But I'm not here to crash it, because in the end, what life basically is, it's a masquerade. And it has to be the masquerade, because how would you otherwise be able to play it? So everybody would be an awakened soul. That would be great, right? We would share things. Still, what would you play out? You have a character, that's what you play. That's not what you are, because you are the black light inside of you. That's what you are. But everybody plays a certain character in this stage here. This is why I know for a fact I can be everybody. And I can choose to become Osiris, the Kemetic Pharaoh. I can choose to become that. Now, who's Osiris? Everybody was telling a story about Osiris. See? Do you actually know who Osiris was? Bobby Hammett was saying he was just another dead one. He's just another dead being. I'm not going to say that, although I'm already burned. I'm already as black as you cannot imagine. But if I'm going to say that, you would be like, oh, he's racist. So I'm not saying that word. But I am already you. I don't take care about who you are, where you live. We are all the same thing out of a different perception and perspective. So, let's say I'm Osiris. Now, am I actually that specific Osiris who was living way back then? Maybe, maybe not. So you can become whoever you would like to be. You can play each and every character who you would like to be. That's what we basically do online. But the question is, how deep is it digging the hole into the truth? Now, what is the truth? That's on you, because you look out of your own window. But if you would dig the hole very deep, you would probably get to the things where I am. I'm pretty sure about that. But I don't know, because maybe your deity is completely different to mine. But I know how powerful I am. And I'm sharing that, like I said, with love, to evolve and to rise as a phoenix. And to flip these subconscious into this conscious realm. So, this is basically what ice is doing, right? So water has different anomalies. That's also very interesting, because if it would be compressed, when it starts to get compressed, it becomes basically cooler than the actual thing which is where it is swimming in, but it starts to rise. So this is basically also what your soul is. The more pressure, the more chaos you start to put into your soul. See, I'm getting goosebumps. The more chaos, the more stress, the more melanin you would put into your mind, into your soul, into your life, into your matrice, the more you start to rise. Basically, it seems like you're falling. You start to put more pressure onto yourself. You start to mummify yourself like as a pharaoh. You start to die. But only because you are dying, you are able to rise. This is how the whole workings are. This is what basically is happening. So this is how you would mirror then yourself out. This is how you would start to mirror source out. Where do you got all that knowledge from? Well, it's inside of my brain, because I'm creative and I'm not mind controlled by anything. You can put all these different things into me, but they just dissolve in me, because I have the true code, I have the true key to sanity, to insanity. Are you insane? Yeah, I'm already insane. Because I'm not mind controlled. I love you. And I know how to heal myself. I know how my temple's functioning. So, I'm talking about the waters. I'm talking about the ethers. See, I can spell things differently. I know how to decode signs. I know how to flip letters around. I know what graffiti is. I know how magic is functioning. I know what imagination is. This is all toys to me. See, that's all a joke. And I'm sitting on top of the whole thing here, and I'm shooting these arrows at you. See? Like an alchemist. See the alchemist? I'm protected on the back. I'm black already. You see it? I'm black. I have an arrow, and I'm shooting truth. I'm shooting source. So, this is basically what is happening in here. Now let's put in here. Oh no, he shoots at you like that. So this is basically what the waters are. The Orion is. The Orion's belt. The 3 pyramids, which are, you know how the pyramids are built in the structure of Orion's belt. Because we are coming from the stars, the star seeds. We are star seeds. We are seeding knowledge in here. This is what I'm doing. I'm a star seed. I'm probably one of the biggest star seeds in here. And I'm going to share that on the Instagram. I'm going to share that Instagrams. I'm talking about your holograms, yo, because I've been in the hole. This is a hologram. You want to get out of here? You want to get out of the matrix? Well, listen close. Now, the infinite waters of yourself, of your subconscious realm, are the waters that you produce. I'm talking about urine. I'm talking about getting and freeing up your vessel from your dense material and putting pressure onto you with chaos, with stressing, with martial arts, with movement, with chaotically figuring out new stuff. Life it will always be chaotic. I was also on that path where I was like, I had an obsessive compulsion disorder, everything, and I still have it sometimes. I'm speaking openly about it. Sometimes I have to be very structured with all the things that I have. See, I know where these things are. But I also know how powerful chaos magic is. Because this is literally fucking up your mind and you're like, I have no clue what this whole thing is anymore. let's do something completely new. And this is when you start to redevelop your senses. This is going to happen when you rise as a phoenix from the ashes, because like a snake, you would evolve, you would grow, you would become somebody new. See, and this is basic, it's all in you. You produce already everything that you need. You're breathing water. So you're producing water, which is golden, or maybe it's clear. It's a representation of your mind. So this is when you would get into the ether. This is when you would get into the chaos. This is when you start to become a magician, an imagination, an imaginist, an alchemist, and an alchemist, a chemet, a pharaoh. You would use chemi. Everything is chemi. You would use your vessel. You would use your lab, your laboratory. In history, the alchemists were projecting themselves outside of themselves. We're still doing that with so-called science. Now, science, if you would spell it differently, science is signs. Now, everything can be a sign for you. Everything can be a sigil, everything can be a symbol. This is why I'm talking about toys. This is why I'm talking about being creative, being a magician, being seeing tools, seeing toys. Toy Story, Tori, Thor, authority, a force field, a donut mirror, your subconscious mind, which is just the representation of yourself as the mirror in front of you. This is how reality is working. Now, the thing is, with these humanoids, because I'm not human anymore. Well, I'm already falling down. Maybe sometimes I am human. I'm still human, right? But I know that all these things that we do, they are crazy. But maybe that's the way it should be. I don't know. So, what we are basically doing is that we mirror ourselves in this giant hall of mirrors, where I'm not sure if any consciousness or any soul is even existing. Because what I know is just like, hey, I mean, they're all just fractals of the whole thing, but the whole thing is already sitting in me. So it sits in you. So the question is, what do you mirror out? What do you produce? It's not, see, I was doing the fast. I was cleaning out my vessel. I'm now an alchemist, a shaman. I know how to go to different places, to go to different realms, to switch between different masks. But see, many beings, and that's fine to me because I can look at the televisions, but I don't identify with it. I see through the mirror. But many souls, many beings identify with the things they've been told to. Many beings identify with the characters they play. You play a character for sure. You play, in this masquerade here, you play a certain character. You play a certain part. But I'm very sure that that is not the real you. That's not the real you. So am I talking already to my subconscious mind? Is that the real me? Now I'm making these things up here to the black and the white sun to fuse it together because that equals in my brain matter. All of these universities, they could be fun. They are maybe even helpful to build certain things. But they are not talking about this consciousness thing. They're not talking about... Are any of these universities talking about Shivambukalpa? Name one university to me who's researching Shivambukalpa to the degree that I do it. And this is why I would carry on, I would continuously do it. Because none of these so-called universities are even knowing what universes are. You are the universe, so am I. My universe is freaking big. And if you would come to me, I would reach out both hands that I have. Maybe I have even 4,200 hands. I would reach out every hand. Maybe I have 4,200,000,000,000,000,000 whatever hands. And I would reach every being one hand of mine. Because I would tell them, hey, you know what? It's yourself. The truth is, if you know how to see through the illusion, that it is all yourself. Your belief systems, where are your belief systems coming from? Your belief systems come out of your own self. This is where your belief system starts to go. So if you think a certain thing might be helpful to you, do it. But you know why it's helpful in the first place? Because your mind tells you to do it. If you would, science is a very new format of the old traditions of magic. That's how it works. That's what it is. Science, one more time, science is a very new format of the old magic traditions. Because what are these papers? You know what you do as a scientist? You know what you do? You produce paper. Now, in the first place, you have to cut down the tree to produce your freaking papers. Now, then you sit, I don't know, in this fucking position for like how long? For how long do you sit in this position? Now you hack something into this black mirror. Do you have a connection to your higher self? I'm guessing 99.9999 percentages of so-called professors of PhDs have no freaking connection to their higher self. No, they don't even know that spirituality exists. They would say, are you talking about religion? Like religion? You don't even know how to spell, yo. So you have no clue who I am. You don't know. But I'm still reaching out my hand for these type of beings because they don't know the truth. They live in their own delusion. Then they think even, oh, this is real because I produced this whatever science thing. So, imagination is the key to your mirror because your creativity is your creator, your authority potential that you mirror out. Now, this boils basically down, and this is what I was doing since I'm basically here because I was a triplet. My two brothers died, and I was doing physiotherapy from the age of 0. So my mom was always pushing me like, hey Jan, come on, we stretch, we do these exercises, right? So I was playing tennis, I was doing judo, and then I was starting to basically get involved into the highest educations. I didn't know that way back then. Which was, I would say my trainer is a high-level magician. I didn't know that way back then. Now, that's just what I'm basically starting to see here because I'm freeing myself up from this whole delusional thing which is happening here on Earth. So, I was introduced into kickboxing. I was introduced into martial arts. I was introduced into basically movement. And that was hidden, occulted, with the sigil of a certain sports format. See, because if you would see it from a bird's eye perception, what we are doing here is compressing seeds. We're compressing the soul to push it through the body to rise as a phoenix, to become spiritual. That's what the whole thing is about. But if you continuously do certain sports, where do you think this shit will take you? You do it for the televisions. They're not interested in spirituality. They're not interested in your higher self. They're only interested in entertain mind. That's what they're interested in. They're not interested in becoming your higher consciousness, into becoming your highest potential. They're not interested in that. So I am literally a ninja because I'm not taking care about any of these so-called labels. There are no labels to me. I know that in the true thing, I don't even exist. I have no body. I'm the most intelligent soul because I'm speaking free. None of this shit is scripted. This is how my mind works. So, I know what alchemy is. I know how to move with my tempo. I know how to see knowledge in here. And I know how to free up yourself from your own delusion. Now, you have to start to study your own body. You have to start to study your own mind. You have to rethink. You have to reflect what you are. You have to mirror yourself. When you start to listen close to the things that you have in your surroundings, that's what you are. If you start to listen close to the things somebody tells you, that's what you are. That's your own voice. You start to hear voices. You're already hearing voices. Now the voices that you hear are you. They are telling you something. So, the matrix decoded. The imagination, the mag, which is the minus, and the elect, so you pick something, the Tron legacy, is talking about the plus. Now, if you would have plus and minus, you would switch it, you would start to create a hole or a flux, a light tunnel that you go into. Now, this is basically what might happen when you die, I don't know. But this is basically what this holographic electromagnetic universe is. You have a plus and a minus pole, and producing that from your heart chakra, from your source. This is why love is important. Always stressing love to evolve, which is basically green light. This is why we have leaves which are green, right? Everything which is green is just a representation of your heart chakra, because you are the rainbow by yourself. That's what you shoot out. And producing green light from your source is mirrored in your donut consciousness. This is what the Simpsons were telling you. Simpsons, which were created by a Freemason. So the Simpsons are talking about the donut consciousness. The donut is a representation of, hey, you're basically a whole. I'm producing that movie because of my mind. See, I'm like, oh, ripping that hole, like, give me the truth. I was digging in, there you have the truth. Now, what should I do with it? I don't know. It's just words and mirrors to me. And we need a certain amount of currency, which I basically produce by myself in order to have an experience here. So this is why I'm teaching, the keys, the movements. What else is there to do? Study your own tempo. Wake and shake your soul up. I mean, there is many things to do. Just a question of how is your mind working? If you think it's helpful, everything is just produced by your mind. In the end, it's only about just the subconscious things. What you were doing over and over again, what you were reading, what you were perceiving over and over again, this is basically what you start to see. The star seeds. This is where I'm coming from. I was probably going into this earth realm because all of you humanoids needed some help. Because you were not knowing how this whole is functioning. See? I was one like, okay, first of all, I have to free up myself from these, I don't know what that is, like belief systems. And then I can see then the true knowledge, which is basically only talking about your own avatar. So, boils down, like I said, to practice, to pee, to roll. You know, I didn't know I was producing that, you know. What kind of role models you follow, what kind of mirrors you follow. I'm talking about your imagination, your creativity. And I'm talking about Egypt, I'm talking about Osiris, I'm talking about Isis. I'm not talking about, you know, oh, he said Isis, you're like, is he going to be the terrorist or what? Like I said, the world is the word. Now, your world is basically only what you have inside of your skull, or what you have inside, or what you would produce and what you would reflect, what you would perceive as information through your senses. Now, what your eyes, what your mouth, what your taste, what your smell, what you're hearing, what you're feeling. See, I'm talking about your nervous system. And all of these different systems inside of you are like organs, are there to produce or to feel frequencies. Now, the frequencies are basically, one more time, the subconscious realm. All the things that you've learned, that's what your frequencies are. That is how your force field is going to resonate. So you are only resonating with the things that you're practicing over and over again. The spells you put upon and you inform yourself with. And this is why I am stressing the melanin, the chaos aspect, the love through the evolve process. And I'm also resonating very much with truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance. The values of Falun Gong, Falun Dafa. Now, but to complete this whole thing and to teach this thing one more time in essence, you should become a chaos being. Because this is really starting to free up yourself from all of these delusional things. And if you start to see everything as a representation of, your mind, you would start to see things as toys. That's good, just like this. If you would start, like no matter what, I don't even put this here. Like, what are these things? What are these things to you? I have no clue what they are. See, you're presented with these things in this illusion. Like, oh, you're like, oh, what does that mean? What does this mean? And your mind is then projecting certain values upon certain material things. That's what's happening. So you start to think, oh, this amount of that and this material equals that. I'm not interested in your material shits. I'm going to make and have a nice space in here. There's nothing wrong with that. But to get loosened in this material thing is going to kill your spirit. And this is when you will become basically very numb. You will become very numb. You don't feel anything. And I have sometimes just to numb myself down because I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling way too much. So I have to drag myself down the dragon, dragon wagon. And then I'm pushing this whole thing up and switching the subconscious into the conscious realm. That's just my nature, right? That's just how I am. And this is basically the higher education. This is the highest knowledge that you could probably dig into because it's talking about reality creation. Now, if you would have the choice to make, I don't know, $1 trillion, if you would make the choice to make more money, or to, I don't know, get certain amounts of projection, material things, would you choose that, or would you choose to make literally the world a better place? A better place? Yeah, everything matters here, but it comes from spirit. See, and if you would have the knowledge to see the things, and this is why I'm doing it. Sometimes I don't even know what rambles outside of my mouth, because that's just what I am. That's just what I have cultivated. What I've cultivated. When Osiris is speaking outside of me. The pharaohs, the chems. Oh, you're talking about the chemtrails? The wise owls? The ums? See, the chemtrails, vaccinations, whatever. The quest is, how do you operate with that in your mind for these spiritual beings? I'm talking about the chaos level. I'm talking about the Bobby Hammond level. I'm talking about what I just put together. There are different puppet masters. You know what I did? I was going to these masters and I was combining the things that they basically, where they pull these strings on. I was combining kickboxing, Kalari Payatu, alchemy, Falun Gong, Falun Dafa, fasting, Shivambukalpa, yoga, Deltron, chaos beings, the matrix level, whatever. What else do we have here? The four owls, different magicians, like I said, the Kemets from Egypt, Osiris, all these deities, basically are living inside of me. Where else should they be? Where else should they be? They are me. I am that. The ancestors live inside of you. Where else should they be? Where else should the gods be that you pray to? Now the truth is, every god that you pray to is living inside of you. That's you. That's a mirror of you. That's where you pray to. You see that because your brain is working like that. That's what the real knowledge is. Now you pray to certain, I don't know, God, whatever. That's you. That's a mirror of you. You mirror yourself in that. Now, the truth is that everything is symbols. That's what the real decoding mode is. Everything is symbols. Each and every letter is a symbol unto itself. Now, this is why alchemy is so important, and this is how you would create deities, how you would create reality, how you would switch things together. I don't know what these letters mean to you. They have specific values to me, but if you would go into nature, if you would forget all the paperwork, if you would forget the pencils, if you would see and take a look into nature, how would you think the pharaohs way back then, or even the Polarians, which were coming from mind? And then we're doing these whole cycles here. How would you think they would interact with their environment? There are no ladders to climb up. You would climb up a tree. You would climb up in yourself to become spiritual one more time. So this is all internal and then mirrored out in the external. But basically your mama, your seeding womb, where we are here as humans, is talking about becoming a soul, becoming a light one more time. So I'm not planning to stay in this reincarnation thing. Because what should I do in here? I mean, okay, plant knowledge, seed knowledge in here. Yeah. But you live inside of this giant womb, which is called Mother Earth. to go out as a spiritual to the next plane, to the next plan, to the next stage. This is what all your religions and your things are. And I'm wondering, God. I'm wondering. You know, I'm a shaman. I'm walking between the realms. I'm like, hey, okay, what is this God doing? What is that cult doing over there? Okay, they're doing it like this, they're doing it like that. You know that all these things, what is basically happening in this realm here, it's an imaginational realm. It's a magic realm. This is all magic. But you are falling for someone else's magic. Because you thought, oh, that's the thing. Could be, right? If you like it, join their group. But this is why I'm like, hey, you know what? I got my own back. I have my own wings to fly. And I know how my avatar is functioning. So this is just a journey for me. A transition phase to transform into something way greater. Because there are truths in everything. But the question is, can you decode that? Can you decode the symbols? Can you decode the cross? Can you decode the 33? Can you decode the 42 laws of Ma'at? Can you decode the triangles? The Star of David? Can you see I was telling that story yesterday in my video about Osiris and the root races. Now all of these religions, of these spiritual things, they are basically were coming out of Egypt, out of the Chems, out of the tribes. So Buddhism roots in Kemet. Christianity roots in Kemet. Judaism roots in Kemet. Hinduism roots in Kemet. So, even further, Kemet roots in Atlantis. Well, this is way too spiritual. Now, Atlantis roots in Hyperborea. Hyperborea roots in Lemuria. Or was it the other way around? And Hyperborea roots in Polaria. Talking about the pole. Talking about the spine. Talking about yourself. Talking about your mind. That's what it is. Talking about your skull, your school, your schooling system that sits on top of your ladder. So, in these humble words, elect yourself, elect your practice, elect your ritual that you produce for yourself because you are a wizard, blizzard, thunder maker, storm. And, see, be real, right? Electron, elect yourself. This is my legacy. The legacy is the truth. And be aware of what you speak up because this is what it's going to become. Your subconscious iceberg. Seeding knowledge, mirroring source in and out in Minecraft. Mind tricks. Crafting mind. So, love to evolve your chaos beings.